Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this is for the week beginning with the weekend of March 20th, Friday, March 20th, 2020. So, the sun is about to go into Aries in Western astrology, or it already did actually. It happened at 8:50 last night, so it is actually, that's early. So yeah, at 8:50 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, sun went into Aries. Oh my goodness. Aries time already. Goodness. It just came on quick. Aries, I was like looking at a dating app, and this woman says her pet peeve was tardiness, and I thought to myself, is this woman an Aries? And sure enough, she was an Aries. It was like, oh God, they come on so quick, and we're gonna move forward now, going through every sign of the zodiac. Let's talk about, though, we haven't talked about the lunar nakshatra yet, right? Okay, so we've got ourselves a lunar nakshatra of Dynista on Friday. It's going to go into Shada Bishak on Saturday. And it looks like we have a new moon this week. At least I believe so. And sure enough, that happens Tuesday at 2:28 a.m. So really dark sky on Tuesday. And the new moon, of course, will be in the constellation of Pisces. Although it'll be Aries new moon in Western astrology. And it looks like the part of the sky that the new moon is going to be in, I'm thinking, is Purva Bhadrapada. It could be Uttara Bhadrapada, but it's one of the Bhadrapadas. It's a funeral pyre. So we're giving things up, we're letting it go, and we're taking in some new things, and taking them in a deeper way, in a bigger way, a more responsible way. But I'm thinking it's more than likely in Uttara Bhadrapada, and so we're looking at our past life misdeeds and our future life after death, trying to improve our karma, take it to another place, and so that's part of it, Adhere Bunya, the serpent of the deep, the cosmic terrestrial waters. It's ruled by Saturn, so we're going to see some tough stuff, folks. I mean, Saturn's now moved over. It's going to move into Aquarius as well on let's see, when does that happen? Does that happen Tuesday? I think so. It happens this week. No, it happens Saturday, actually. Saturday, Saturn goes into Aquarius. It's another Saturn-ruled sign. I mean, we also associate Uranus with it. But this is the sign of the zodiac that's concerned with humanity as a whole, not just the nuts and bolts of operation like Capricorn. So we look at Saturn and Aquarius dealing with humanity, and what's the plight of those forgotten? Who's not a billionaire? Who's not a moon or a sun? Who's not, Cancer or Leo? Who's not in that inner circle of privilege? And Aquarius considers all those other people, so all those other people are going to be considered a lot more, and so we've got to look at that. So on and on we go with your horoscope, beginning with you, Aries. So, greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Mars is now moving through the Vedic sidereal Capricorn. So this is a really, truly exalted Mars right now. And it's in your 10th house, your midheaven. This is where you show leadership. This is where you pay back karma. This is where your talents and skills are king. And we've got to have you showing your talents and skills right now. We also need to acknowledge that this week is a renewal week for you. You're going to be renewed by the sun being in Aries and the moon being in Aries. So, and this is where the sun gets exalted, is actually in Aries. It's like, oh yeah, I love it. I'm coming back, Things are warming up. This is a celebration. And now light has overcome the darkness, That's a victory of sorts. So you're more seriously, politically, socially strategizing, perhaps. Still a lot of requirements in the workplace. Still a lot of karma to pay for. Well, greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. Like I said, here we are. Last week we missed the planets putting there, but you can see them now. Venus and Mars Venus and Uranus, are in the first house. So Venus and Uranus together in Taurus. It's like, I love, Venus loves Taurus. It's doing great, It's the love vibes coming. I think might even be moving in the sidereal Nakshatra Bharani by now, which I believe it is. Yes, indeed. So, Venus on Venus, baby. It's like deep stuff. Now, Uranus being there at the same time, we should look at that. Uranus is, it's going through its own thing. It's over 4 degrees, almost, and Venus is at 17, so Uranus is in the Ashvini, and so there's a much more impulsive, quick reaction type of thing. If you're somebody who's born on the 24th, 25th of April, things might have just gotten a little bit more topsy-turvy in your world, or anywhere near those dates. If you're born the first week of May, second week of May, you must be feeling the love this week. You'll be feeling it. That's part of it, and you've got a lot of good fortune, even though things might be rough, there's people that can help you right now. Your father, good teachers, gurus can help you with your situation. And carry on, It's a tough time because, the sun's in your 12th house of its own undoing, but at the same time, Saturn's moved into your 10th house this week, so you're going to be able to show excellent leadership. How do you like that? All right, greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. What's the good news? Well, the good news is that Aries rules your 11th house, so that's social, and it's fortunate friends, and it's also sometimes money shows up occasionally in the 11th house, because it's like another number 2, and so, because 1 and 1, and so, a certain amount of wealth can begin to come your way from all the hard work you've done, as the sun is transiting your midheaven, and so this new moon can produce some money, it might be tax return, might be a new job, getting first paycheck, but that's happening. Uranus and Venus in the 12th house, there's karma, there's sexual scandal. It's like, oh my God, People get really, are pretty wild about that. I realize that most humans are somewhat sexual. Some are asexual, but it's part of the human condition. And yeah, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's, but that would be impossible because most of us end up getting hurt somehow. And surprise things, come out with that. So it's just worth looking at. Let's just go to Cancer. Talk about Cancer right now. So greetings, Cancer. You've got the North Node there still. So you've got all this desire to take things somewhere. But on the other side, there's your relationships. And one side, they're good. Jupiter, it's like you want to do the right thing. You're like, I'm committed more than ever to be righteous about how I approach my relationships. And then there's Mars, and it's like, well, I'll try and be more diplomatic when I'm in conflict, The highest thing I can do is to empathize with my opponent, and that's how you really win. That's the true Aikido. Is to have that empathy. And Pluto, it's like things are changing in relationship for me. I'm looking at it very differently than I used to before. And now we've got Saturn in the 8th house. That could be a little bit ego crushing. You're like, oh my goodness. It was hard enough having Saturn opposed to me, but now it's in the 8th house, and it's like I feel limited by other people and their rules and how they're trying to hold on to my money or whatever, that kind of thing. And it's embarrassing that I'm not as in the kind of control I'd like to be in control with. Well, nobody is, but right now your gifts are being seen by others. We're really hiring you to work and run the campaign, so to speak. Quite amazing. The next step is Leo. So, greetings, Leo, and welcome to your horoscope. I mean, like, if anyone's benefiting from Aries time, you'd be one of the signs, that benefits the most. Aries for Leo, it's the father, it's the guru, it's travels, far journeys, higher education, questing knowledge that's worthwhile. It has real value. It's like, what's that pearl of great price? And taking risk. Like, if you take risks, there's going to be great gains right now. So, why, when you're taking risks, things are going to get better. Your health is slowly improving. It hasn't come easy. It's come with a cost, but your health is slowly improving. Relationship-wise, you might be getting into a solid relationship now that feels more stable, but at the same time, it could be that relationships completely suck and I want to break them off. I don't want to be a part of them. And I just think that there's a certain winning, there's a certain kind of wisdom that if you open yourself up to right now, you can demonstrate that, and you can be more of an innovator at work and bring a sense of beauty, and something that if you bring the approach like, oh, well, this will enhance all of us, and this is what we as a group of people enjoy. I think people will see that and they will respond positively. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we are going to Virgo, the wonderful land of Virgo. So greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. Aries time, very interesting for you because it's 8th house, And 8th house is sex, death, other people's property, birth, rebirth, the occult, astrology, tarot readings, things like that, being able to read palms. Trusting your psychic senses. The other people's property and other people having power is a big deal. Now, if you're cool with that, you can ask other people for help, and they will. And it's like, I've also heard like underground economies, the black market and stuff kind of thrive in the 8th house. I mean, it's the house of unjust rewards, sometimes said. That doesn't mean that because something's unjust that it's necessarily bad. It just means that it's not fair. You might get a lot of money just from an old lotto ticket you find, while you're digging through the trash. That would be a real 8th house wealth experience. It's like Slumdog Millionaire. It's like got to go in the poop hole to find it. But that's the kind of wealth that the 8th house has. If you're willing to get down and dirty, there might be a lot more there than you think there is. But you're mostly like been in your heart space lately. Virgo, that's what I've been seeing. It's like, yeah, I'm doing the heart work, I'm trying to show more love, and, it was a love partnership season, but that just ended. And now it's deep. It's like it's in the bedroom, It's time for better sex, really. And then there's like Saturn moving in your 6th house, so it's like addressing health issues, how can I enhance my health, be a healthier person? We all want to be healthier. And, and you're lucky in love. I mean, long distance love affairs, that could happen, could be surprising for you. And, it could take you through a whirlwind of emotions, that stuff, Love is like a drug. It's really true. So I don't know if you're going to discover that. I mean, the new moon, I'd say for the next month, Just let other people do their trip, Virgo. You'll be fine. You'll get over it. Why I'm so dry in the throat. All right. Well, greetings Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So for Libra, Sun going into Aries is kind of a thing. It's like, well, relationships, opportunities for balance. This is my opposite sign, so this this shines for me now. Now we've got Uranus and Venus in your 8th house. That can be crazy sex. It could be lovemaking that's beyond the normal. Now, Saturn is in the 5th house, so it's like matters of the heart just might feel like slightly heavy, especially regarding children. Like they might need more discipline, more structure, and you're not maybe as confident in your abilities to teach or perform, but trust me, you've had the wisdom. You've been through enough stuff now. You're ready for this. You're ready to own it. And I'm going to just encourage you to go ahead and own it. You have a desire to show up for work and do the best you can, even make work easier for yourself, but for somehow make it seem like the work's getting done better than it ever was before. And it's a time for home improvements too. I see that as well. And you still have to work on health issues yourself, Oh, we all have to work on health issues. Okay, so greetings Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay. Yeah, so we've got Mars in Capricorn, 3rd house. Mars loves Capricorn. Mars loves the 3rd house. Your Scorpio should be doing really good right now. Probably especially you later degree Scorpios. Now, what I'm thinking is, now that you've got this courage, can you be courageous enough to address the roots of the demonic activity, the really deep, horrible stuff? Yeah. Because that's where South Node's moving through. It's like, there's a psychic message here, how to clear out bad karma. And you could write it down, make a song out of it, use your hands to make a piece of art out of it. That's really the work. You're happy. Mostly you're holding your spiritual life well. You're getting ideas to put on paper or whatever. This is my manifesto. This is where I'm going with this. And, your Uranus and Venus together in the 7th house, it's kind of this unusual love, but you're kind of liking it, and it's bringing something really nice that you've never had before, and you're doing service work. You're doing a lot of work, helping others with that work. Well, greetings Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. I think Sagittarius does better with the Aries energy than almost any sign in the zodiac. Probably even better than Leo, and here's why. It's 5th house Sun, so Sun is really exalted right now, in the tropical astrology sense. So it's like, what's your truth? What do you need to express? This is where we invoke the inner teacher. This is where if we have children, we want to relate to our children really strongly at this time. And be generous with them. And bring things that bring soul, things that have meaning, that's like that good, deep meaning, and bringing those out. I think as far as like work, small pats, health issues, just do things to kind of sweeten up whatever suffering you're going through. And, not to make too much of a big deal. Because there's been this hunger for deep, dark knowledge, but you got to be with family. You got to work on what's in front of you. You really have to support your people and just take care of your base economically, all of that. The rest will follow eventually. All right. Well now. Greetings, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, what can I say about this? Mars and Pluto together. It's a combination, right? It's a combination people have warned you now. We've we've gotten Saturn out of the picture at least. Saturn's now moving in through Aquarius. And it starts there with the moon, which in a way, to me, it almost implies this universal Saturn Sate. And you're like, KozMcKev, what are you talking about? What is Saturn Sate? Well, Sate is actually when the moon, when Saturn goes in front of your moon sign, on your moon sign, and back of your moon sign. It's a 7.5 year period. And then most of us will go through it, maybe 3 times even. As much as 3 times. Okay, some even really old people, like live over 100, could go through it 4 times, and it can be very depressing and embarrassing and hard, and it's and so and I think with it being in Aquarius in Western astrology, we're going to see a lot of social embarrassment. Yeah, that's going to be a universal theme, and Capricorn, you're having the run of things pretty good, but you're also having to work on past life karma and trusting your subconscious. And you want a juicy emotional relationship, even though you're calculating. You want that feeling of like, I want to be in a relationship where it feels like I'm coming home. How do I get there? It's not, the best way to get there is really just being comfortable with yourself and your own skin. Like, you feel like home. You make your home a home. You start doing the alchemy to make room for that person. Without expectation. And then enjoy yourself while you're doing it. It's like, oh, this is fun. And you also need an exit plan, too, in case you attract the wrong person. It happens. I know. That's because we're human. That's right. And, but I think like you're really in your heart, Capricorn. You're really loving life right now, and that kind of surprise love might be there, and you're going to work with it. And you got to honor your parents, older parents at this time. That will help too with your karma, especially with your new moon. Honor your mother. Okay, so here we go. Greetings, Aquarius, and it's a whole new ball game this week, right? Yeah, whole new ball game. And really, I think you're probably relieved. You're like, oh, thank goodness, that was just getting too much. All that sticky, icky relationship with parents, family, all that stuff, it's just lightening up a little. Hopefully you're relating more to your siblings, because especially if they're like peer siblings, you kind of went through the same thing with your parents. You're like, oh my God, we survived that. Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? Because those of us who've been parents, our kids put us in training. We're just, and kids, you're training your parents. And it's not only that parents bring up children; it's actually children bring up parents. They do. And so we have to look at that. Okay. And for you, you're like, I'm not so sure about this. You've got this. You understand Saturn. You understand limits. You understand reality. You're an innovator. And we're going to see more innovations now that Saturn's had its first little visit into Aquarius. But then with the moon there, it's like, hey, is our mind cloudy? Are we emotionally stagnant? I don't think like politics necessarily gives us a feeling of emotional intimacy with others. I think being out in nature together does, I see people that I don't share political views with, but when I see them out in nature, I'm like, oh, wow, they have good values. They like that, So that's kind of like, I think of a meeting ground. So we really have to support a healthy environment. There's just no way we can get beyond that. You want to talk about deep spiritual stuff right now. You really do. You want to enlighten people. And you want to make your house more exciting and fun. But you've got people that are, they're not necessarily on board on the level, and they might not agree with your trip 100%. So we have to look at that too. All right, greetings Pisces and welcome to your horoscope. Well, I mean, hey, pressure is off. It is no longer Pisces season, and it is now Aries season. And we're starting out with Saturn and the Moon in the 12th house. Whoa. You know, or Saturn will be in the 12th house tomorrow. So moving into Aquarius. So it's like, it's easier to kind of lose control, or you feel emotionally isolated in some kind of archaic structure that you're just hoping you can get out of. And there's so much you want to talk about and express right now. And maybe family members are coming, they've got obligations, you're having to deal with some financial stuff, and you're thinking, wow, how can I communicate this in a way that's going to be understood without seeming too pushy? And then there's like kind of a love life burgeoning in a friendship maybe, but it's surprising and you're not so sure, and they might run away and take off because they're scared. And then we've got Mars, Pluto, Jupiter in the 11th house. So, you know, getting together with community and trying to just hash out what's the best way to move forward in this situation. How can we do better with each other? That's what's going to bring us all together. And so it's mostly for you, Pisces, I see it's like a lot of personal issues right now. You don't really even want to get, outside of like your kids, you don't really want to get out there in the world of other people. I mean, it's just, it's open. You can do it. But your personal life and that personal karma is what you have to deal with this week. So just wrapping things up. You know, we've got this new moon in Aries on Tuesday, or Monday rather. No, it is Tuesday, the 24th, 2:28 p.m. Play an Elton John song. That's his birthday. And I'm looking forward. Will you please like the like button, the push the bell, subscribe. I love your comments. Keep them coming. Good people. And we'll do this again next week's edition of the Planetary Persuader with me, KozMcKev, your host. Yay!